Waivers are nasty this week. There's not much to go after, and we're trying to figure out who to make that stab on to get on our rosters to help us turn and burn, build our lineups, and get our fantasy teams just a little bit better. Who to stash, who to hold, who can get us some points. And right now, there's a guy that is hot and trendy on the waiver wire going into week 5 that everyone's talking about. Jaleel McLaughlin, running back of the Denver Broncos. We're going to look at the news, the fact, the data, the advanced metrics, see whether or not you need them or not. But what you really need to do is click that subscribe button right now. Stop missing out on these deep dives. You need to know more about these players. Also, we're helping you out with the waiver wires extensively, multiple videos. We're also helping you with trades. We're helping you set those lineups every week as well. Hit that subscribe button. Stop missing out. But let's take a look at Jaleel McLaughlin here. First things first, Devonte Williams suffered an injury on Sunday. Thing about this, he's not expected to be out for long. They're saying he's day to day. That translates sometime week to week because it extends out a little bit sometimes in these scenarios, but it could actually be day to day. It's coach speak. They don't have to relay all the information to us. They're just saying, hey, he's going to be back sometime soon. That's pretty much how you can interpret it whenever a team says that a player's day-to-day. Hey, he's going to be back sometime soon. Could be next week, week after, 3 weeks from now. But day-to-day could be tomorrow. We just got to pay attention, watch the tea leaves. We're not the doctors. We don't know. We're not with them. We have no idea. But pay attention to Devonte Williams. If he's back soon, if he's back this week, you'll probably be seeing some touches or a light workload. You're going to have to pay attention to him. Jaleel McLaughlin, you need to know about this guy. 19 fantasy points on Sunday, 7 rush attempts, 72 yards, 10.29 yards per carry, caught 3 balls for 32 yards. All 3 of his targets was productive, had a touchdown, looked good. The coaching staff likes him. They've been talking him up off and on all year long. That's something to hang your hat on. He was able to make the roster as an FCS guy. Something to pay attention to there. There are some good things to his name. And Samaje Perine's there. And he does not look like a world beater. He's going to be getting touches and opportunities because he's been all year. And he's dependable. He can hold it down in pass blocking between the tackles and everything. But McLaughlin has some upside. Week 4 against the Bears. Some of the advanced metrics here. 16 snaps, 33.3% snap share. 3 targets, 11.5 target share. Ran 5 routes, 16.1% route participation rate. 43.5 opportunity share. That's touches and targets. 19.4 PPR fantasy points. That's why we are chasing here. Is he the hot hand? Are we going to roll into next week? And is he going to get a boatload of touches? Because that's what we're hoping for. Is he a game changer? Is that what we're seeing here? From Youngstown State, he was productive. 1,500 yards last year, 1,100 yards a year prior. Double-digit touchdowns in the last 2 years. 30 on his career. Advanced metrics looking good. Yards after contact per attempt in the 3s every single season. 3.36 on his career averaged out. 100 carries of 10 plus yards, forced 138 missed tackles on his career, 51 last year, 54 the year prior. So he can force missed tackles, get you yards after contact, be productive at the FCS level, which caused him to naturally fall out of the draft. He's 5'8", 187 pounds. Another thing you want to note is this is a deep running back class. Last year was considered one of the deepest running back classes in 2023, and a lot of running backs fell for the chance of him to really sneak into round 7, round 6. It was harder compared to other years, so don't dismiss him because he was a UDFA. Looking at the specs here, 4.51 40-yard dash, more than fast enough to get the job done. More pop than Samaje Perine off the step. So he can give you a breath of fresh air once he sees the second level of the defense. Very productive at the college level, 93rd percentile in dominator rating. That's something you want out of your running back. 0 percentile though in target share, but we're already seeing targets at the NFL level. So really not really hampering on his college stats and the passing workload. And we're seeing a guy who's been productive, more than athletic enough to get the job done. We saw it on Sunday. Can we get more? And we're looking at the Denver's offense here. 64 plays a game, 23 rush attempts per game, 25th in the league when it comes to rushing attempts per game. That's because the game script is saying, hey, you can't run the ball. You're going to have to throw it deep. You're going to have to throw it to Marvin Mims downfield. You're going to chuck it to him, Cortland Sutton. That's what you need to do if you want to stay in this game or get back into this game. We also had that game against the Dolphins. We only have 4 games on our sample here. That's a big biter as well. 53% rushing attempts in neutral game scripts. So the last few minutes of the half, when you're down big, you're up big, those are not in there. When the game script's neutral, they want to run the football. They want to run the football. That is their identity. They want to run it, and if they're behind, they're going to sling it. That's what they want to do. They want to use their running backs here. So if the game script's tight, you could see these running backs getting some opportunity a little bit more than usual over your last few games. It just matters on the situation here. So there could be an opportunity where you see some of these running backs get some touches. When we're looking at the touches here, we're seeing a mixed bag on the opportunity share. Devonte Williams had a 30% opportunity share. That's getting split between these two running backs. Looks like it's at least going to be in half. And maybe McLaughlin's the hot hand, and he gets the majority of that. But Samaje Perine is going to be getting touches. Even though McLaughlin showed off hot on Sunday, there are some things in Perine's game that they're going to have him on the field for. Pass protection, between the tackles, the grinder work, the stuff like that. But McLaughlin's really proved himself. He could get more opportunity, and that's something you want to pay attention to. We got 24 targets on the year to these running backs. This team throws it downfield when they're looking to throw the ball. They want to sling it downfield and make yards in a hurry when they're throwing it. That's what that tells you. What, divided by 4, that's not many targets per game going to running backs in this offense. Even though these running backs are running a lot of routes, looking at the schedule coming up, New York Jets, week 5. That's not fun. That's not a fun one. However, we're getting juicier. Chiefs, Packers, Chiefs, Bills, Vikings. This team has a glorious schedule for fantasy football production coming up. You get through week 5, you got a glorious schedule. I'm talking in the macro here to all the players. Marvin Mims, Cortland Sutton, maybe Javonte Williams in the future. But think about that. This schedule is getting kind of juicy. So if you want to trade for a Bronco, Chiefs, Packers, Chiefs, Bills, Vikings. That's the reason why you want to do that. Maybe you get a little Jerry Jeudy action there. Maybe. But now we're going back, and we're going to talk about McLaughlin here. And we got to get through this Jets matchup. Not very promising. Should be tight on the offense on this one. Could be a nasty one. That's what we're projecting. We don't know Javonte Williams is going to be back this week. And if he's day-to-day, and that's considered extended out a little bit, he might be back for week 6 or week 7. That's something you want to think about. So really, when you look at McLaughlin, you're probably looking at him as a you need running back for the short term, for touches, and you're trying to see what happens. Him versus Samaje Perine. Perine's going to get opportunity. He is going to be getting some touches. McLaughlin has more upside. If you want to chase the upside, definitely McLaughlin. That being said, McLaughlin, because McLaughlin's probably going to get a similar workload. And Samaje Perine, if you got him and you have to start him, if you got him, you're just hoping he crosses the goal line. Nothing more, nothing less, because he's not a gangbuster running back. You're hoping something breaks. It's going to be hard against the Jets. And you don't need him because you don't want to speculate on the running backs. You do not want to speculate in this offense. You do not want to do it. You don't have the space. You don't want to see what happens. You're good. You're okay. Really, McLaughlin's for that person who's really turning and burning the waiver wire. They need that next man up. They're hoping they hit on something. They hope he gets some opportunity. He runs with it because that could happen. You should have a space on your team where you can take on that investment. I really hope you do, and you're turning and burning the waiver wire every week. And maybe you hit on a Puka Nacua and a Kyron Williams, and you're like, I'm okay. Because that happened to a few people. Maybe you hit on a couple waiver wire players. Maybe you got Puka, you got Devin A-Chain, and you know what? I drafted well. I'm doing all right. I'm doing good. And it's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. But if you're looking at McLaughlin here, you're looking at a running back who's going to be getting some touches. For how long, we don't know. He does have some pop in his step, at least more than P. Ryan, so he could be getting some opportunity. We're seeing him be used in the passing game. He had 3 targets on Sunday, something you want to hang your hat on, so he is getting opportunity. And the waiver wire's nasty. It's him versus Keaton Mitchell. I think Keaton Mitchell has more upside. I think he has more upside to go nuclear. But the thing about him is he's got to work through some fodder when he comes back, and it might take him some weeks. So you may be able to juggle these 2 running backs and have your cake and eat it too if you're wondering about these 2 running backs. I like Keaton Mitchell better for the long term. I think if you're looking for touches and you need touches for the now, you can go with McLaughlin and see what happens. And maybe you can catch Mitchell in the back end if you want to play the game, or just pick Mitchell up because he does have that big boom upside for the long term in this offense. So that's something you may want to look at here. But McLaughlin's walking into an opportunity where he can prove himself, earn more touches for the rest of the season. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I want to hear about it. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out. Catch you on the next video.